Today is the fifth day and Skandamata. So why do we call it, first of all, why do we call Kartikeya? Skanda is another name for Kartikeya. Why do we call Kartikeya Skandamata, not Shiva's son? And also, why Skandamata today? Why is, what's so important about being Skanda's mother? So for that, we have to understand a little bit about the beginning, how Kartikeya was born, that archetype. So I'm sure many of you may be familiar with it already. What happened is there was, as usual, there is always this demon or an asura that asks for a very unreasonable boon, and then all these gods are born to take care of those asuric tendencies within us. So there was this asura called Tarakasura, and who went to Brahma and said, give me a boon. After a great penance, he got, Brahma says, what do you want? He said, give me the boon of immortality, I won't die. And as usual, Brahma said, I can never give you that boon, but anything else. So he said, okay, I can only be killed by a son of Shiva. And what's so special about that? It's just that Shiva, at that point, Sati had died, and Shiva had gone into deep meditation and refusing to come out of that state of meditation. So he thought, there's no way Shiva is ever going to come out of that meditation. He will never marry, he won't have a child, and I won't get married. So Brahma said, tathastu. But this Tarakasura started creating havoc in the world. And then what happened is all the devatas, they decided they have to wake up Shiva, because he has to get married and he has to have a child who will kill Tarakasura. So nothing they did, or nobody had the guts to go and disturb Shiva's meditation, because they knew the consequence of that. If his third eye opens, you're going to turn to Bhasma. So what happened was they sent Kamadeva, who's basically Cupid, to go and hit an arrow of love arrow into him, so that he gets these feelings of emotion and love, and he will come out of his meditation. And Kamadeva Deva went indeed and did strike that arrow, and Shiva got up from his meditation because he got disturbed. He was furious, livid, and his third eye opened, and the fire that came out of that third eye destroyed Kamadeva into a bunch, a heap of ashes. And so Kamadeva's wife Rati was very upset, and she cursed Parvati. Anyway, in the meanwhile, Shiva got out of his meditation. Everybody told him about this Tarakasura and what was to be done. And he said, yeah, we'll find a solution. So he and Parvati get married. But Rati curses Parvati, saying that you cannot, since your husband, because of you and your marriage, my husband got killed. I curse you that you cannot have a child with Shiva. So Tarakasura was very excited. He got up, but now Rati has cursed Parvati, so there's not going to be any son. I'm not going to die. So then what happened is the gods again ran to Shiva, and Shiva said, oh, don't worry, we'll do something. And then in deep meditation, what happened is Shiva's, from his third eye, six flames came out of Shiva's third eye, and the teja, the power was so much that he asked Agni Devata to take it to Agni and Vayu, the fire, god of fire and god of wind, to take it to Ganga, because that's the only place that can hold that vigor or that power of Shiva's third eye, fire, six flames coming out. So they took it and they dropped it into Ganga, because it was too hot. And in that Ganga, it cooled into six beautiful babies. And these Kritika sisters, six of them, found these six babies, and they fell in love with these beautiful, gorgeous babies, and each of them wanted a baby. In the meanwhile, the babies were brought up by the Kritika. So, and he's born under Kritika Nakshatra. That's why he's called Kartikeya. But anyway, this Tarakasura thing was going on in the background. And at some point when Kartikeya grew up to a certain age, Shiva and Parvati decided it was time to bring Kartikeya back, train him to be the commander-in-chief of the army of the gods. So when Parvati goes, she sees these six little babies, and she obviously is mad, falls in love with the babies. And what she does is she tightly, gives all the six of them a squeeze so tightly that the body merged into one with six heads. The heads were there and the body became one. So he's called Shanmukha, which is six faces. And these, of course, by now you people must have realized that the rishis don't make up these fantastic stories just for the heck of it. There is deep significance behind it. To anyway, so she made it into one, brought her Kartikeya back to the Himalayas, where Shiva and she taught Kartikeya everything they had to teach him. And she gifted him the veil, that is his weapon, which is a spear, spear. It's a long one with that teardrop shaped, pear shaped thing at the top, the spear. And so there is a big fight, and Kartikeya kills Tarakasura. Now you have to understand what is Tarakasura. Tarak Asura. Tarak is this tarka we call, that logical, analytical, all these vad vivad, constantly using your mind and analogy and intellect to fight. And for that, because we have that inside us, every time we have to be convinced, logically, analytically, intellectually convinced of everything, but not understanding that the actual infinite, knowledge, that Satchidananda cannot be attained by tarka, cannot be attained by logic, by intellect, by analogy, by any of that. For that, you need the intellectual knowledge and intuition, which is a feminine quality. So Shiva had these six flames, which is the six what is it called, schools of systems of philosophy in Hinduism. I'll just read it out because I don't remember the names. Nyaya, Vaisesika, Sankhya, Yoga, Vedanta, Mimamsa. You need all these six kinds of knowledge. Any one by itself cannot take you to that Satchidananda, but they are all separate schools. That is the problem with intellect, reason, and ration. But what did Parvati do? She brought it all together with intuition and inspiration and love. So that is why he was, say, six persons. That is why he's called Skandamata, because that one body became because of Parvati. And the thing that he's known for is his ability to not just he has the courage, the willpower, the activity. He's the after all the commander in chief of the gods, of the devatas, but has tremendous wisdom, because imagine, he was born from Shiva's third eye. Six flames came out of it. It's brought together. So I won't go into too much detail. He is considered Shiva's guru, because at one time Shiva himself did not know something, the meaning of Om, and Vishnu and Brahma could not clarify. And Kartikeya explained to Shiva. At that point, so he became the guru of Shiva. But his guru is his mother, Parvati. So that's why, from many perspectives, she is called Skandamata. First of all, he was made into one being by her hug. Secondly, because she is his guru. Although he is Shiva's guru, she is his guru. And also to fight tarka, only information, intelligence, intellect, analogy, logic will not ever help you. You need inspiration. You need that feminine intuition. Sometimes you just know it. Intellect cannot help you. Logic cannot help you. So that's how you defeat the demon of tark, that logic, and then the vad vivad. And this is what happens on this day. Remember, we are going through these stages. The first stage was Shailaputri. We have made a sankalpa like a mountain, stable. Not only that, the kind of sankalpa, from the material we are rising to the spiritual. Second one, we are the brahmacharini. We have shut out the outside world, come inside, completely inside, locked all the 9 doors. Third is Chandra Ghanta. Ghanta is what? Call to attention of what? Your emotions. You go inside, you do Samudra Manthan, all these emotions are coming out. You deal with each of these emotions. Then comes Kushmanda. The radiance is from within. The minute you realize you don't need the outside world, everything you ever need to know is within you, then you start shining like the sun from within. And the actual force is like a anda. The yolk is inside, outside is just a shell. Our body is just a shell. Our entire intelligence is within us. But what happens is, when you see, when you touch this radiance, you're not there, you're not completely purified. That's the first time you've got a glimpse of that radiance within you. Then the tarka comes in, tarkasura comes in. Is this right? Am I imagining? Am I really visualization? What will this do if I come out? The tarka will come and bog you down. You want all kinds of logical answers and logical explanation. What I experienced, what I saw, is that really God? Is that really Satya? Is that Nitya, Anitya? That tarka, for that you need Skandamata, because you need that six schools of thoughts. Not only that, in a colloquial way, the information that you gather from the five senses and intuition, that the sixth sense. So we need all our six senses, all five senses, for the objective world of Vishayas and the sixth sense. Then we can defeat the asura of tarka. And that will happen in our spiritual journey. After we touch that radiance, we'll start questioning it. Did I really see it, or did it hallucination? Was it imagination? Was it this? What is that? And trying to explain it in words and thoughts. You cannot explain something that is beyond and subtler than words and thoughts in words and thoughts. That's when that Kartikeya's thing is required. And remember that she gifted Kartikeya that veil, that spear, and the spear represents our spine. At the end, right here, at the third eye, the world of dualities come to an end. It becomes one single eye. The top of the spear is what? It looks like one single eye, like the third eye it looks, if you've looked at Kartikeya's veil. And that's what we need, that focus of the third eye, where all the dualities and all intellect and inspiration come together. So this is the stage in our internal journey where you combat this urge for logical explanation and analytical information and data processing with Skanda's veil. And that's why she's called Skandamata, because she's the one who brought him together, and by adding inspiration to the five senses, making it six senses. So that's the significance of today. And I think it's time we should start our chanting. We'll start with the usual.